Hi, I'm Taylor,
And I'm Raven.
and this is Strange Narratives.
Welcome back.
We're back.
Back at it again.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler. Happy holidays.
Merry Crisis.
Whatever you celebrate, we love you. Thank you for joining us. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing
Good.
all right. Last couple of days, last couple of weeks have been rough, but
Yeah.
the year's almost over already.
I feel like it flew
Dude,
by. It
no,
started out
blinked.
so slow
I
for
blinked
me.
and
then,
the year was gone.
Yeah. I was like, wow, it's January. Wow, it's December again.
I don't want to, make you sad, but it just gets worse from here on out. Now that you're kind of past all the big milestones, now it's just
Yeah.
living.
I know. I was like, after,
What is it, 27 when your insurance goes down is like the last big milestone?
I think it's 25.
25,
actually.
yeah, no, 25, yeah. And then after that,
your
you're just
30th,
fucked.
and then...
But I didn't even celebrate my 30th.
See, I am very big about holidays and birthdays. I'm extra as hell.
I'm
That's
excited
like
for
the
your
one
birthday.
thing I'm extra.
You are what outfit I'm going to wear because I only have like one black outfit, but it's my favorite
Is it
one.
the romper? I'm so excited. Are you going to wear the fishnets and stuff?
I
like
have
that?
to.
Yes, bitch. Anyway.
Well, what are we talking about today?
So today we're going to talk about the Lady of the Dunes.
I've never heard of this one.
It is fascinating.
Uh-oh.
It is a true crime case. So with that, heavy trigger warning, Taylor trigger on this one. It does obviously involve murder and sexual assault. So if this is not the episode for you, totally fine. Bag out. We'll see you on the next one. No, you're gonna say you are contractually obligated.
I am handcuffed to this chair right now.
Yeah.
My legs are bound to the ground.
Yep. If you all didn't know, she's my prisoner of war. So. Yeah, blink twice if you're
I'm
unsafe.
doing SOS with my eyes.
She knows Morse code. I know.
I don't actually know more. I think it's like dot dot dash dot 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 dash dash dot dot. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you honestly. But yeah. So again, Taylor trigger. So I'll give you a couple seconds to bag out before I start. So
But please stay.
yeah, please stay. It is very fascinating. I don't go like super into detail about it. I think, the rest of this case is more fascinating than how she died. But it is very sad, so
Okay.
R.I.P. to you, girly. With that, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. On July 26th, 1974, a 12-year-old girl followed a barking dog in the Race Point Dunes in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and discovered the decomposing body of a woman. Poor baby, honestly.
I could not imagine actually finding a dead body as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I was lucky
12
enough to
especially,
never do that.
those are like your formative years,
Yeah.
That's like my oldest finding a body.
Yeah, no, that'd be terrifying.
That's scary. The body was found just yards away from a heavily trafficked road used by park officials with significant insect activity.
But-
It is to note, this is apparently the sound of like thousands of maggots makes the same sound as like playing with like a necklace of pearls, like a pearls necklace. I had to learn it, so you guys have to learn it. I was like, oh wow. So there's that. Don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. The victim was lying face down, halfway on a beach towel or blanket, nude. Her hair was in a neat ponytail, and beside her was a blue bandana, and a pair of Wrangler jeans was folded neatly underneath her head like a pillow. There was no signs of a struggle, which led investigators to lean towards her either knowing her killer or being killed in her sleep. So there's that. There were 2 sets of footprints found within about 50 yards of her body, but they didn't necessarily go up to her body.
So it could have just been people walking by and not seeing her.
Yeah, so like
But if it's so
the
heavily
beach
trafficked.
blanket or towel, as well as the sand around her, was completely untouched, which leads me to believe that
cleaned up, yeah.
and that her body was most likely staged in such a way. So due to the level of decomp, a time of death was nearly impossible to really narrow down, but the coroner suspected she died as early as 10 days earlier and as long as 3 weeks earlier.
How did so many people walk down that trail and not see her?
Well, it does come up later, but there has been reports of like other people finding the body, but they were children. And so that leads me to believe they were just like scared.
Why are there so many kids out in the fucking dunes by themselves?
They're with their families.
Oh,
but
true.
I mean, a lot of them were like walking their dogs or just playing around, adventuring around and stuff like that. Again, it was 74, so
Yeah.
It was determined the unidentified woman was between 5'6" and 5'8".
Okay.
The shrinkage comes with decomp, obviously. When there's a decomposing body, obviously there's no blood flow and everything like that, so your body does kind of shrink a little bit. So, but she was also determined to be around 145 pounds with auburn hair and an athletic build. And it was also determined that she was between the ages of 25 to 40 or as young as 20 to 49. But again, because of the level of decomp, number one. Number two, it was in the middle of summer. So the heat in itself, that's going to throw off the decomp as well. That's why it was so hard for them to narrow it down. So that's where the massive age range comes into play. The woman also had extensive and expensive dental work done, estimated to be between $5,000 and $10,000 worth of work, including crowns.
Holy
so there's
shit.
a lot. But during the autopsy, it was found that she was missing teeth, possibly done post-mortem just to hide identity. We'll see. The woman's hands were also missing.
Oh, great.
Which leads me to believe that, like, whoever did this has obviously killed before.
Because they knew what to hide.
Well, and especially because of the way there are crime scene photos. You can't obviously physically see her face or anything like that. They do a really good job of trying to make it a little bit tasteful. But it looked, the way her body was positioned, it almost looked like her hands were buried into the ground. But it actually turns out that her hands were missing. So no fingerprints, harder to identify.
People are so fucking disgusting.
It's
I don't
insane.
understand how somebody could do that to a...
Blows my mind every time. The woman was nearly decapitated, possibly from multiple strangulation attempts.
What?
Yeah.
Like with a rope or with somebody's bare hands? Because I've never heard of somebody almost
really
being
sure.
decapitated by being strangled with bare hands.
I mean, there's a multitude of different kinds of things that you could use to possibly not only strangulate, but lead to almost decapitation. The right side of her head was also crushed in by a military entrenching tool, which I know you know what that is.
It's a big shovel.
It's like a foldable shovel with a sharp edge.
They're actually used as a weapon by the Spetsnaz.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say I have a very similar looking one that I use for camping.
Because they have there's a serrated edge on one side, there's a razor sharp edge on the other.
She was sexually assaulted. It is believed that this was post-mortem, but it was done by a wooden block.
That's disgusting. Why? What kind of fucking...
It's awful. And it was determined that the head injury was her cause of death.
So she survived through multiple different strangulation attempts before finally just getting
either
her head
that or
caved
they
in?
did it post-mortem. I don't know.
Fucking freaks, dude. What the fuck?
It's insane. It's insane. So eventually the case did go cold that same year, and the woman was buried in October of 1974. It is a side note that in 2014, one of the investigators raised money to get the woman a new casket because her original casket was made out of metal, and so it had rusted and severely deteriorated in that amount of time. So they raised money to get her a new casket, which is sweet. But she also was not originally buried with her skull. One, for facial reconstruction, but two, as a reminder to, I believe it was the police chief. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong when I'm editing. but he kept it in his office as a reminder that, hey,
We never found her.
we need to figure out, number one, who this woman was, and number two, who killed her and why. So I was like,
It's kind of a morbid motivator, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do.
I was like, okay, I get it.
You know, you could always just remember her and
Or,
be like,
like,
hey,
get a
you know that
cast
chick
of
we
her
found with her head almost cut off and caved in? We should probably find that killer.
Or maybe get like a plastered cast of her skull.
Well, that's
and
like,
have that.
did I
I
tell
wouldn't
you-
want the original skull. You know.
Did we talk about the death mask thing where there was like
that lady
that was found in the river and she was so beautiful that everybody wanted a copy
She's
of
now
her
the
face?
CPR doll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
CPR Annie or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
And that's where the Annie Are You Okay comes from.
yeah.
Because
Crazy.
so stupid.
Random facts.
Random facts. One of these days we're gonna have to get like a fucking cheesy edit where it's like random facts and explosion sounds in the background.
Yeah. It's kind of like the inflatable sales guy from
Oh,
Family
Wacky
Guy.
Babe, an inflatable arm flailing too, man.
Yes. I'm so glad that you remember.
I used to love Family Guy.
I definitely love Family. I'm more of like an American Dad fan. But
all of those kind of ran their course with my life. I don't
That's
really
fair.
watch them anymore, but there was a
Cleveland show. Bang.
there was a huge point where the Family Guy show literally kept me out of like a deep dark depression. That and How I Met Your Mother. That's
what I've never watched.
That one's so fucking funny.
I've never watched it.
There's an episode. I don't know why it's so funny to me, even just thinking about it now. They're sitting in the bar and they're like throwing pencils up into the ceiling to get them to stick.
We used to do that in school.
And one of them falls down and bounces up Barney's nose. Neil Patrick Harris.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but just the way it happens and his like facial expression and everybody's face, I literally laughed on the ground, like clutching my sides for a good 30
You're like,
to
I'm gonna
45
have a
minutes.
six-pack after this.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was so fucking funny. I don't know why, dude.
Yeah, because it like pops up on my TikTok For You page sometimes, like random facts about it. But I guess like there's that one episode where he's trying to get with that one chick or whatever, and she doesn't fuck with like Wall Street looking dudes, so he stops like wearing a suit and like goes into the bathroom to put it on because he's having like withdrawals and then takes it off or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, character building. Okay.
So, well, but that's the whole point of his character, because Neil Patrick Harris is gay, and he plays the most piggish, womanizing fucking pervert ever in the show.
He plays a lot of those roles,
and
but
he's
so well.
good at it
Yeah.
that you literally hate him, but then you have to remind yourself, like, oh, he doesn't actually think this about
Yeah,
women.
he's gay and he has like
he's
two
just
daughters
doing this as
or
a character.
something.
Yeah, dude. Like, I love him so much. He's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I love him. His like dry sense of humor gets me every time.
His random appearances in the Harold and Kumar movies.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you
Neil
here?
Patrick Harris? Fucking NPH?
No, he always kills it with any role he
God.
takes on. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the investigation. Police poured through thousands of missing persons reports as well as vehicle records for the cleared traffic that went through the park.
Mm-hmm.
No leads came from that. Because the blanket and the sand again were not disturbed, it's believed that she was staged. After a thorough search of the entire Dunes Park, they turned up no other evidence nor any other personal belongings other than what was found with the woman's body. Which is insane.
Well,
to
whoever
me.
killed her took
Yeah,
trophies.
they
That's
took
what they do.
everything with her. And I believe I only found it in a couple sources, so I couldn't say definitively if this was true or not, but there was also tire tracks found as well as those footprints. But again, because I couldn't find it in every source that I went through, I kind of left it out.
That's
it's
how
more of
I
a
get
side
you.
note situation.
I typically only use what I see, like, used in multiple different sources.
Because I go through like 5 to 10 different
I usually use
sources to
3.
ensure
I do
that
3 very different sources whenever I'm
just like super OCD. I also listened to like 3 different podcasts and did like watched like 3 different like mini docu.
See, I try not. I guess I don't do that because I'm always worried that I'm just gonna straight up steal what they were talking about, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to like plagiarize anything.
Yeah.
'Cause I'll be damned if we get flagged for
Dude,
copyright.
no, that's the one thing I'm the most scared about.
Yeah, I always like I'll write down all of my research and then I type it into my own words. But even writing it down, I write it in my own words because I'm like, you're not going to get me, bud. Okay? English class taught me a lot.
Right.
Even if I didn't really go.
I did. That was the only class I actually liked.
Mine was science.
Oh, I like science and English. Creative writing was my shit.
I didn't ever have creative writing.
I
was
that
in
my
English
senior
honors
year.
and I fucking hated it.
And I also took that in my college class.
And then I had a forensics class. I also had a science fiction class and a criminology class. But that was when I went to the alternative school.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was sick. I loved it.
Oh, yeah. No, I went to... did I ever tell you that I went to PS1 downtown? It was an old charter school, kind of like an alternative school. There was like literally
really?
100 students max, maybe 200
See,
students max.
Ours was a very small school too. I went to prep.
That was the first place where I met a teacher, which... Jim Norton, if you're still alive somewhere, dude, I hope you are because you're fucking awesome.
Shout out to you.
Literally, he changed my life because he... One, put my name into the running for the Mile High Scholars Award thing where you actually get to go meet the mayor and he gives you this little like key to the city for being like really good at scholarly shit. And I won. Like
Was it for the English stuff?
It was, because
creative writing?
Because he talked me into taking college classes my senior year. I was taking a creative writing class at the Community College of Aurora.
That's so cool.
And I would show him all of the short stories that I would write for that class before I would turn them in. And one of them, the very last one I wrote, which was like, it was like about like a rebel leader. It was like a future dystopian where like everybody's kind of like.
You say rebel leader and my mind immediately goes
Star Wars.
Wars.
Anyways, I'm sorry I keep distracting you.
No, I love the banter. It makes for like better bloops and
True.
Just this is such a heavy case. I think it's like much needed.
Breaks it up, yeah.
Honestly. So again, like I mentioned earlier, it is worth noting that there were like several reports after the fact that several kids or other people had like stumbled upon the body. In 1979, a clay reconstruction was done of the woman's face. In 1980, her body was exhumed, but new evidence was found.
Okay.
She was also exhumed again in 2001.
Dude, just leave her body alone already.
Gotta
what else
figure out
evidence are you
who
gonna
the
get?
fuck she is, you know? But then she was also exhumed again in 2010 for more DNA testing, just because DNA
keeps getting
better and better
I
throughout the
get that.
years. In 2010 as well, a CT scan was done on her skull for another more accurate reconstruction of her face with an imaging system used by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I will have pictures up, so if you are not physically watching, make sure you go back and just look, because it is fascinating. The science behind it is insane. So, on to the leads. So, in 1987, a Canadian woman came forward after her friend had told her she had witnessed, it's so sad, as a child, witnessed her father strangling a woman in Massachusetts around 1972. But again, that's like 2 years before this woman was killed. Police did attempt to locate the woman, but to no avail. Yeah. Another woman claimed that one of the reconstructions done, like one of the earlier reconstructions done of the woman's face, resembled her sister, whom had gone missing in Boston in 1974. So that does align with the timeline. Yeah. And a few other like missing women's family members were DNA tested against this woman's DNA,
and none were
but nothing was a match, sadly.
At this point, I just want them to have closure, like her family, her. Wait,
this is closed now.
Oh, is it? Okay,
yes, it is.
Good.
I wanted to like kind of leave it to a surprise,
I'm
but
sorry. Well,
no,
fuck.
it's okay. I don't want you like thinking there's no.
Because most of the ones I watched, they always end with like, and they still haven't found the killer. Like, well, fuck, dude.
Well, and it wasn't until recently that they were able to close this.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So it's awesome.
That helps.
This theory is super cool, and I love it. I will have pictures up for this. But in 2015, a theory arose that the woman of the dunes deeply resembled an extra in the Jaws movie, the chick running with the blue bandana and the Wrangler jeans.
Oh, what the fuck?
On the beach.
Get the fuck out.
It's fucking uncanny. So a lot of the investigators, like, felt it held some weight, and they did note the interest in it because Jaws was filmed in Cape Cod, which is the county that this happens in.
What the fuck?
Around the same time. So that's
What the
crazy,
fuck?
right? But some people chalked it up to being like just wild speculation and considered it way too far-fetched. But it's like,
That's crazy, though.
you never know, you know. Especially because the woman that is the extra, I will have pictures, has auburn hair, has a blue bandana, and she is wearing the same style of Wrangler jeans. It's never been
that
determined.
Extra has never come forward and been like, I'm still alive.
I couldn't find anything.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's insane. So, in early 2022, the woman's skeletal remains were sent off to Ortham, which is an American-based company that specializes in forensic genetic testing.
Okay.
To test for a DNA profile to match to distant relatives and stuff like that to secure her identity, essentially. On October 31st, 2022, the Boston FBI field office announced that they had finally gotten a positive ID of the Lady of the Dunes identity after 50 years.
Holy shit.
I'm
glad that they didn't give up.
Yeah. No. I mean, you can't. Honestly, it's like, this
some
was
cold
still a
cases they
human
have.
being. This was a human being. And she was
brutally
murdered. For what? For fucking
somebody
what?
to get off. Fucking disgusting pigs.
But so this was after 50 years through the use of investigative genealogy testing, which, amazing. Look
Badass.
into it. It's so fascinating. But she was identified as Ruth Marie Terry, and she was 37 years old at the time of her death.
Jeez.
So now let's get into the suspects and killers. So the first suspect that came to mind was Tony Chop Chop Costa. Have you heard of him?
No, but that's a terrifying fucking name.
He was a serial killer in the state of Massachusetts, but he was later ruled out because he had died in May of 74, and Terry's body wasn't found until July of the same year.
So he would have had to do it like as he was dying.
Yeah, and her body wasn't there for that long, so he was quickly ruled out. But he's crazy. We might eventually have a case on him.
That's a terrifying ass name.
Yeah. Another one is Mr. Hayden Clark. He was also a convicted murderer who had actually confessed to the murder while in prison. He stated, quote, "I could have told the police what her name was, but after they beat the shit out of me, I wasn't going to tell them shit. The murder was still unsolved, the murder is still unsolved, and what the police are looking for is in my grandfather's garden."
What the fuck?
However, Clark was diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic, which does lead some people to
Did they ever go
falsely
dig up
confess.
the garden?
They did. They did a little bit of digging into it, but he was ruled out. He didn't commit the murder. In the early days of the cold case, also, this is just a side note, they did seek out the help of a psychic, and she had actually made some, like, correct predictions about some things in the case. They, like, brought evidence, and it was closed evidence in, like, paper bags, so she couldn't see anything, and she sensed, like, one thing had, like, blood saturating on it, which it's a murder case, obviously. You can predict that. Not to exclude her in any way. But she also mentioned something about, like, buried hands and dripping water and stuff like that. I'm doing, like, a more condensed version of this case, so feel free to read into it. Morbid also did a fantastic episode on this years ago. But I just wanted to mention it because I was like, that's kind of cool.
Right.
Finally, though, Guy Moldvin. So he was the prime suspect in not only multiple murders, but multiple disappearances, including the disappearances of not only his second wife, but her 18-year-old daughter. Also worth noting, he fucking married Terry. Why did that rhyme? He married Terry in either 1973 or 1974.
So that's why she wouldn't have put up a fight if they were married and she thought it was all consensual.
Well, what's crazy, I'm about to tell you. So on November 2nd, 2022, the Massachusetts State Police, or MSP, announced that they were seeking information on him, but he had passed away from a, quote, lengthy illness in March of 2002, so that kind of sucks. But on August 28th, 2023, so earlier this year,
holy shit,
it was announced that Moldovan was Terry's murderer, and it was determined by Terry's brother that they were on their honeymoon at the time of her death, and they had gotten into an argument.
And so he fucking...
And so, again, when you go back and you look at the evidence, her hands were cut off to hide
well, again,
her
he
identity.
He killed people before, so he knew what to do.
Yeah. And there was one, he actually went to trial and was sentenced, but the judge, like, pushed his sentence back. I don't remember the exact details.
Why?
If you want to look more into it, you totally can. But he didn't end up doing any jail time, I don't think.
Well, I mean, at least he's dead, but I still would have liked for him to actually have to pay for his fucking crimes.
Yeah. I'm like, or at least like a deathbed confession where you
something,
like hold yourself accountable for what
but
you
even
fucking
then,
did.
like...
But he was obviously a fucking sociopath if he could do that to his own wife multiple times even. And there was like, I think like 4 or 5 people listed as like his possible like victims and shit. So it's
and
like
I'm
crazy.
sorry, but the argument excuse is bullshit, because you wouldn't fucking do that to somebody because of a fucking argument.
Yeah. I've never even tried to like swing on one of my
like,
ex-partners for an argument. Like I don't get it, but I mean, obviously I'm not them.
Well, we're not
but
sociopathic killers.
Yeah.
We actually have empathy.
Like, I feel bad like when I've gotten into physical fights even in high school. I'm like, I probably could have solved that a little bit better than using violence.
That's why I don't like getting into fights, because like no matter how mad I am in the moment, I am still thinking in the back of my head like I'm gonna feel like shit if I actually do something.
I always just like, let me step away for a minute. I'll come back to it. I'll be more rational, because anything that's acted out of fucking anger, you're gonna end up regretting. Yeah,
always.
Unless you're a fucking sociopath. Like guy.
Fucking guy. Fucking guy.
What a name.
Well,
Your
at least he's a dead guy.
Yeah, truly. But yeah, that was the case of the Lady of the Dunes. So I'm just glad that she was finally identified.
I'm relieved that there was actually a closure to that case, because I'm so tired of these poor people just being left in the annals of history to never really be put to rest or never really have any kind of closure.
And I found like pictures of her when she was alive. She was fucking gorgeous.
Oh, and they always are. They're always probably the sweetest, nicest, most beautiful people.
I mean, everybody has their, demons and stuff like that, but I don't think anything is ever worth being killed over,
No.
It's just...
Absolutely not.
It's a sad case. I remember hearing about this case like many, many moons ago.
I never heard of it.
And I've always been fascinated by it. And then earlier this year, they were able to
solve it. That's crazy.
And then last year they were able to finally identify her after 50 years. It's just, I'm just glad there's closure.
That goes to show that, that dude keeping her skull probably worked. They never gave up. Every couple of years they were testing it again and doing it again.
And even through all the other hands that it passed over the years, the other investigators and stuff,
nuts.
like they still gave just as many fucks as they did from day one. So that's nice, because sometimes there's shitty cops that do botchy work, and people are left in the fucking back
see a
burner.
lot of that in these criminal cases where it's like the police almost catch them one time, and then because of like a lack of evidence or just hearsay or something, they let them go.
Or literally just lack of give a fuck.
Well, because like look at that fucking, was it the Ted Bundy show where the cops would literally at his apartment once, like
and that
have
boy
stopped
was
him.
like, he's trying to fucking kill me, and they're like, oh,
no,
you're just a
he's
child
drunk
prostitute.
and,
Get
drunk
out of here.
and, it's so fucking stupid.
You know, it's just,
Well, you know,
it's kind of scary.
the world
but
we live in.
I'm just glad that there's closure.
Yeah.
Especially for her family. And,
absolutely.
You know, for us morbidly curious people, it's just nice to know that, you know, she can rest in peace at this point. So
she didn't deserve what happened to her.
That's helpful for sure. So I'm sorry that was
well,
a heavy episode.
I always
a typical
say,
Taylar one.
I always want to say, like, thank you for sharing, but it's like...
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of glad that I gave you the warning that it was going to be pretty heavy.
Honestly, I've listened to worse, so that's not the worst story I've ever heard. But it is just sad. I don't like ever hearing about them. I wish that we didn't have to worry about fucking serial killer murderers, but human beings are
just the
scary
fact that
people.
you're able to do something like that to another human being blows my mind. I feel bad if I have to like ask for a refund on something, or you know, or if my tone sounds slightly bitchy.
I was in the military,
people,
and I could never mentally justify just blindly killing people that we called the enemy, because I realized at the end of the day that they're still human beings. Whether they're on the different side of their, you know, view of this doesn't make them an enemy. Yeah. Like, they don't deserve to die in brutal fashions just because you don't agree.
It's scary.
Like,
yeah.
Human
it just
beings,
makes me
I don't
sad.
know.
But
well, with that, do you have anything else you want to share?
No, I think that's it. Hit us up on socials. We have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. Hit us up on our Gmail, StrangeNarratives@gmail.com. Strange Narratives everywhere.
Subscribe.
Yep.
Hit that bell
notification. Yeah.
Hit that like if you like what you listen to.
Hit us up in the comments. Let's talk about things and stuff. Let's get some more interaction going on. We love it.
Get a heated discussion going in one of these comment sections. See what kind of drama we can bring in.
Yeah, we love it.
I wanna literally one day just be sitting there like literally sipping tea as I'm reading drama comments, fucking people fighting and shit.
Do you remember I told you about that one person? This is a side note. This is some tea. There was that person like talking shit to me in the comments on one of our YouTube videos.
I didn't see that.
They ended up like deleting and blocking them.
What did they fucking say?
They were just like talking mad shit to me. I'm gonna have to see if I can find the screenshots of it. But they were like talking mad shit to us in the comments, and they were like, "Oh, 31 subscribers, that's cute." And I was like, yeah. I was like, I mean, sit here and talk shit. You're boosting our fucking page by interacting.
You're literally
in itself,
giving us views right now.
Hella gang shit. Yeah, you dumb fuck. So if you're watching, eat shit, motherfucker.
I don't get it. Why are you fucking trying to spread hate? Go fucking spread it somewhere else.
Kind hands, kind words, guys. You know, it goes a long way.
For real.
I also, like, at the end of the day, how is it fucking bothering you? In any facet, what somebody else does with their life.
You don't have to watch if you don't like us. We're not making you be here.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, you can talk all your shit. I'm going to continue to respond and interact because at the end of the day, it's just boosting us up.
Honestly.
Don't care.
Leave those comments on next time and I'll send Dakota after him. She gets
and it was like the most
nasty.
generic name. It was like John Smith or some shit.
So
I was like, this is someone I had a fucking falling out with. I had to have. And they're just trying to talk shit to me.
Was it you or were they like saying names in particular?
They weren't saying names in particular. They were just like talking shit
about the channel in general.
Yeah. And I was just like...
So it's somebody that we had a falling out with, but whatever.
It was somebody, but I was like... And then I think they realized that they were boosting us up after I said that, and they were like, oh shit. And that's when they like deleted all their shit and blocked us, because I was like telling a couple people about it, and they were like, oh, I can't find the comments. And so I went back in there, and I was like, they must have deleted and blocked us, because... I can't find it now.
Pussies.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It was so fucking funny. Dude. Yeah.
I've not seen that. It must have happened.
It was like a couple months ago. It was
Okay.
probably like second month in.
Oh, so why are you fucking
Yeah, we had
2
like
months in and we have 31 subscribers and you're trying to talk shit?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh,
Oh, get fucked. That's pretty good.
how about you fucking do this? Let's see how many subs
Yeah,
you get.
nobody's gonna
Especially
listen
if
to
you're
your
gonna
fucking-
talk
yeah.
to people like that, go fuck
Hateful little
yourself.
bitch.
You're real fucking strong behind that keyboard, bitch.
Oh,
But you wouldn't say it to my
that's,
face.
That's the number one problem with our society right
Yeah.
now is how many keyboard
Ballsy.
fucking warriors they
Yeah.
are.
Anyway,
Well, anyways.
I'm not that aggressive, but
Yeah,
when I
whatever.
need to be, I am.
We get mad.
Yeah. But on that note, I think
thank you so much for listening.
yeah, I think we're gonna sign out.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Dakota gave me some really cute magnetic eyelashes.
Fuck yeah!
Where I
I'll
just do
teach
the
you how to use them.
eyeliner and then it just...
Yep. So honestly, it's literally
I'm
just
just
about
bad at
eyeliner
eyeliner, so
execution.
yeah, you just
I'll
gotta
teach
teach me
you.
how to
Honestly,
Dougie. Oh God!
like that.
You still have to teach me how to contour and everything. Like we have to do a makeup day soon.
Yes, let's do it for sure.
Yeah.
I got you, BB.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right.
That's why I'm trying to. No. Have you ever seen?
You know me, bitch.
Have you ever seen Children of Men?
No.
Oh my gosh. So it's like a dystopian future where the world is like kind of like in a civil war or whatever. I never really elaborated on it because it was just like a short story. But it starts with this dude getting captured and taken into this like holding facility, and then it comes to find out that he's like the leader of this like underground rebellion group, and they're gonna like execute him. And his friend who is undercover in the like government that's gonna execute him like
Yeah.
comes into the cell and basically asks him to just like let them execute him to be a martyr for the group to finally like rise up and not just hide in the underground.
That's
And
like
so,
one of the most selfless things that you could possibly
right,
fucking do.
and it ends with him getting executed by firing squad. Like, and the fucking Jim Norton loved it. The teacher that I turned it into at the college loved it. Like,
That's so cool.
That was-
My science fiction teacher, I'll never forget him, Mr. Long, R.I.P. You were fucking sick. But he would like go out of his way to just sit there and just talk science fiction movies and novels with me. I would like my class project, we watched the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy,
dope.
and I did an oil pastel painting of one of the death horses.
Oh, that's sick.
And it's still to this day, from what I've heard, is still hanging up in the school.
Dude, you gotta go back and get like a picture of that or
Yeah,
something.
I'm so mad that I didn't take a picture of it. But yeah, I would like bring in all of my favorite science fiction movies, and he would put them on in the class on like leisure days. So we watched like The One with
That's
Jet
dope.
Li and stuff
That's
like that.
dope.
Yeah,
Dude, The One was such a
he
good
was
movie.
so cool. Yeah, I love that movie to this day. Like that was hella gay.
Ask Chase about that shit. Me and him used to watch that shit all the time. That's
So
the one where he
good.
travels from different realities, killing
Yeah.
himself to get
Yep.
stronger, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super
There
dope.
can only be one.
I love that movie, dude. The beginning
so
scene with the
good.
fucking drowning pool.
Yeah.
Let the bodies hit the floor. It's such a fucking good movie.
Fucking amazing. I love that fucking movie.
Oh my god. We can't
Yeah.
even see it, so why not?
Yeah, fuck it.
Anyways.
Okay.
Like a troglodyte.
Eat my fucking mic. Pull a Raven.
It's not me this time.
Perfect, because I was like, I totally lost where I was, and it was literally the next fucking line I was gonna read. I was like, okay, idiot. Stupid
Idiot.
bitch.
Stupid, dumb idiot head.